Hey, dude, it's your boy Nextstop SirchCity. And as you can see, I'm here today by myself. The lovely co-host Neda Tings is out of the area. She's down in Texas having herself a good old time. Shout out to her. But welcome. You feel me? To another episode of the Food We Watch podcast. As you know, if you've been following us, the 3 consistent followers that's been following us every week or every other week, whenever we are able to post, we are currently reviewing the newest or the current season of Next Level Chef. We're on episode 11. I don't want to be before you too long, so let's get into it. First and foremost, we just want to say shout out Arnav. He was eliminated last week. 19 years old. He did his thing in the competition. But you know, good things come and good things go. This week we are doing bone in. Now I know that sounds pausable, but I'm not going to pause it. But this week we're doing bone in proteins. Right now there are 6 contestants left. We are coming down to the wire. I don't know if you realize this. Next week, I believe, is the semifinals. We're going to be down to 5 contestants. We only have a couple weeks left. Man, the competition is getting thin. I'm not going to sit here and lie. Competition is getting thin. We are losing some good people, some good favorites. But let's take a look and see what's going on. So last week, Megan, she won the time token. Yeah, she won the time token. She won the overall. I'm just making sure one thing. Yeah, okay. So she won the overall competition, which gives her the time token, which she has the option. All right. She has the option to either add 10 seconds to her cook time or she can take away 10 seconds from someone else's cook time. Now, I ain't gonna lie, that Jones sound like a sweet deal. You feel me? You like, yo, let me get like 10 more seconds. You feel me? That platform, be kind of crazy. So I feel like I might need that, John. You feel me? But for real, if you look back at if you follow Next Level Chef, previous years have shown that just because you get an extra 10 seconds does not make you front runner, does not make you have the best dish. We've seen it over and over again that this has come to backfire. I ain't gonna hold you for real. The 10-second time, John, don't really work in nobody's favor because we've seen it plenty of times where, I'm gonna take away 10 seconds and that ball end up winning. And next thing you know, now you got a target on your back. And then again, like I said, sometimes you go for the 10 seconds, you add 10 seconds to your cook. Now the chefs is like, okay, you had a little bit more time, so we on you. There's no room for error at this stage. So we're going to see how this worked out for Megan. Megan chose to add 10 seconds to her cook. This week we have Austin and Megan that is on the top with Blaze. We have Beatrice, sorry about that, and Ryan holding down the middle with Naisha. And holding it down in the basement, we got Bobby and Brandon, and they're going to hold it down with Gordon. So, first and foremost, everybody's getting they're self-situated on their respectable levels. We do hear the producers caught it. Shout out to the producers; they know what they be doing. Bobby admits he's like, "Look, man, I've never used a pressure cooker." They knew that doing something bone in takes a long while to cook at times, so a pressure cooker may be needed. Brandon off rip like, yo, I never used a pressure cooker like a day in my life, so I ain't gonna do that. I ain't gonna do that to myself. You feel me? I'm not gonna do that. Platform comes. Megan off rip. Guess she got that 10 seconds. She didn't even have to run. Walked up to that platform, found her some pork ribs. And then she was like, you know what? I think that might take a little too long. So she's going to go with something that she knows. She's going to go with the venison rack, which is a leaner cut. Doesn't take as long to cook. So that is a smart move. Smart move for her. Austin really wanted to grab the tomahawk. And I'm not going to hold you. I am a fan of tomahawks. Cooking them, smoking them, grilling them. Probably going to get into doing that. You feel me? This summer, again, like I did last summer. But the temptation definitely would have been there for me as well. But anything with a tomahawk, if anybody knows how a tomahawk operates, it's a thicker cut, so it could take a little while. Like normally, when I smoke a tomahawk, I smoke that thing for about 2-3 hours. Then I wrap it, baste it, wrap it for probably about another hour. So on 250. So it could take a little while. But Austin ended up going with the veal chops. Then we have Ryan. Ryan grabs the bone-in filet mignon. He like, yeah, I got this. You feel me? I gotta make up for what I've been doing. I've been salty for the last few weeks, and I gotta make up for what I've been doing. Beatrice, she ends up grabbing a porterhouse steak, which to me, in my opinion, was a good choice. Porterhouse steak doesn't have that real thick bone, but the only thing about it is, it's like Naisha said, it is kind of like 2 cuts of meat. So you just got to make sure you cook it the right way to where you don't overcook one side or you don't undercook the other. You still want that even cook. So she had a challenge there with that. Finally, the platform makes its way down to the basement, and Brandon and Bobby had no choice to go with the tomahawk and the pork ribs. So Brandon has been highly confident this season, and there was no confidence lacking in this choice. He went with the tomahawk. He's like, no, I got this. Bobby grabbed the pork ribs. Unfortunately, knowing that he grabbed the pork ribs, he's like, look, I'm not going to really be able to confidently cook these ribs in the short amount of time that we have. So he had to go with the pressure cooker. First time using it. Now me and Neda has had conversations before about people doing things in the competition for the very first time, but in this scenario, he really ain't had no choice. What was he going to do? So he goes with the pressure cooker. He's going to make like a sticky rib, which sounded so tasty. Then it cuts back to Austin, and Austin's like, I got my protein. I think what I'm gonna do a spring veggie medley or something with my veggies that I picked. Megan, highly comfortable with the venison. She cooks a lot of meat throughout the week. Her family hunts like it's nobody's business. Fun fact about Megan: she is a lumberjacker. She's competed in, I guess, lumberjack competitions. Or hopefully I'm not butchering that information. But I thought that was pretty cool. Something unique, something different, something you don't see over here in these Philly streets. You feel me? You ain't no lumberjack over here, yo. We might wear them Timbs, but we ain't about that lumberjack life. But she's highly confident with the meat that she was given. Again, she cooks and hunts and chops down her own protein. So she's good. She's good to go. Ryan is loving the cook of his steak. He's happy that he grabbed that filet mignon. Unfortunately, though, Naisha wasn't really filling his size. He was just going to do like a veggie medley, kind of similar to what Austin said he was doing, but Naisha wasn't there when Austin said that. So she was like, look, man, we coming down to the end of this competition. I don't think it'll be a good idea for you to just throw some vegetables on the side. You want to elevate. You want to start standing out because the spots are getting thinner and thinner. And unfortunately, you can't just skate by with just a banging ass steak and some okay sides. That will hinder you from making it to the next level. Beatrice is doing a mole and a salsa, kind of going on like a Spanish theme with her porterhouse. So we're going to see how that goes. Bobby and Brandon and Gordon, they was vibing this episode. They were going in. They was having fun. Rarely do you. One thing I do like about Next Level Chef is that you get to see Gordon in a different light. We're so used to Hell's Kitchen, Kitchen Nightmares, not so much Master Chef. But you see him. You're used to seeing him yell and be hard on the contestants. Next level chef and master chef at times is just a good segue to see another side of Gordon. Really helpful. This episode, he was having a lot of fun in the basement with the guys, just vibing with their meat. Bobby did have a hard time not trying to overthink about what's going on in the pressure cooker. He like really wanted to check on it, but you're not supposed to just go open up the pressure cooker. Gotta let it do what it do. Second week in a row, Gordon's telling him, yo, chill. Gordon had to do the same thing last week when he had to it was in the losers rounds. Gordon's telling him how to cook, and he was just like nervous. Same aspect. Gordon's like, yo, just chill out. What you need to do is focus on your sides. You don't have anything. There's nothing you can do right now to them ribs. What you can do is elevate your sides. So that's what Bobby was tasked to do. Hopefully he was able to do it well. Then we get to the mid-round drop. Yo, they had my favorite. They had the alcohol. They had the whiskey. They had the vodka. They had the tequila. They had the flambe. You feel me? They had to go up and flambe with the yai meaning, with the fire. So everybody was down there flambeing. Beatrice grabbed tequila. It's just crazy to hear or say Beatrice grabbed the tequila, but she's only 18. Ryan grabs vodka. I believe Brandon grabs some cinnamon whiskey, which I've never had cinnamon whiskey. So chat, if you're watching this, let me know what's a good cinnamon whiskey to buy. Let me know in the comments, and maybe next week, I'll buy it and, give it a little taste and let y'all know what it feels. You feel me? You feel me? Now, this was the crazy part. Almost, basically a little bit halfway through the competition, the judges start disappearing. Naisha and Blaze is like, all right, I think y'all got a good handle on this. Work together. Figure it out. If y'all need help, y'all got it. Gordon and Aisha ended up going down to the basement, checking on the boys, see what they were doing. They noticed that everything was on fire. They was all flambeing at the same time. And do the rest of the competition, that's basically what they did. Gordon, Naisha, and Blaze just traveled up and down between the top floor, middle floor, and the basement floor, just checking on everyone, giving them that leeway. Because again, now we're in the competition where it's like, okay, I got to take the training wheels off. You feel me? I have to take the training wheels off. Y'all gonna have to stand on your own if y'all want that bread. Y'all want that $250? Y'all want that bread? It's time for y'all to stand on your own. We can't help y'all like we've been helping y'all throughout the competition. Ryan was not really feeling all the mentors coming in at one time. He's like, it's making me nervous. They're checking on this and asking about this. Once again, as we heard, I believe it was last week, Naisha was like, yo, my guy, it's too salty. Ryan has a heavy hand, and I've been known to have a heavy hand. There was one, but there was this one time, right? I was cooking probably for like a good week. And if you know anything about Black people, onion powder is a necessity. And 90% of the things we cook, you feel me? So I never buy onion salt. Never even thought to do it. Someone in my house did. Someone other than me. But I will digress. I should have been reading the labels. And for like a good week, everything I cooked came out salty. And I cooked a burger and it was a mouthful of salt and all. She was like, this is crazy. Come to find out, I'm like, onion salt? Who bought this? Like, I've never used onion salt. So that was my bad. So I get it. I don't necessarily have a heavy hand with salt, but me and salt have like a relationship that I try to keep at a moderate level. You feel me? But Gordon Gordon goes to check on Megan, and she's doing the rack of lamb, and her lamb is still raw. So we're coming down. I think it was like 4 minutes left. Like, yo, just throw that joint in the oven. Just get it to temperature. Bobby's ranting about his ribs, but at the end of the day, he was able to open up that pressure cooker. He was nervous as hell, but for thank goodness he listened to Gordon. The ribs came out good. They were nice and tender. So he was definitely happy about that, John. Then we got Brandon. Brandon was forced to take his tomahawk out a little earlier than he wanted to. But he did a good job overall for a tomahawk. Again, tomahawks you normally cook for hours. For the time period he had, we're gonna see what he did. But according to what I saw, when he plated his dish, it came out pretty nice. So let's go over what they cooked. All right, starting with the top, we have Megan. She did the thyme panko crusted venison rack with the flambe whiskey sauce. There were 2 different cooks on the lamb. The spirit was still a little too strong. She should have spent less time decorating and more on her dish. So, again, as I stated before, just because you get extra 10 seconds, that does not automatically mean you're going to win. This competition seems like they were a little bit harder on her. And yeah, we have Austin. He did the bone-in veal chop with spring veggies. The ingredients, they went together well, but he should not have cut the veal. Rookie mistake. Veal dries out very quickly. Gordon was not too happy about that. Next, we move to the middle round where we have Beatrice. She did the porterhouse with grilled peaches and a peach salsa and a mole. Hardest protein to cook, but the cook was well done. It was a fun dish. Unfortunately, though, Blaze did not really like the combination. Definitely didn't like the mole. Thought the peach salsa was a little extreme. Didn't really feel it, but overall, she did have a good dish towards the other judges. Then we have Ryan. He did the bone-in filet with the roasted carrots and a creamy mushroom sauce. Again, the meat cooked uneven. The veggies were basically a throwaway. And unfortunately, Naisha told you that. So then we're going to round it off with the bottom. We have Brandon, who did the grilled tomahawk with a truffle potato salad and a whiskey butter. Cook was on 100. Cook was 100%. It was rustic and a charming dish. So he pulled it through. 30 minutes, 25 minutes, he was able to cook a tomahawk. Yo, my guy, Brandon, good looks. Then we want to end it off with Bobby. He did the rack of pork ribs with the pomegranate glaze and a roasted oyster mushroom. Tastes like ribs that were cooked for hours. Sticky as they should have been. Loved it. Now, overall, I don't know how many times this has happened in years past, but overall, the competition winners were Brandon and Bobby. The 2 that were in the basement that had to cook, that had the meats that would cook the longest, were able to pull it out. So congrats to you guys. Overall, the overall winner of the time token was my man Brandon, coming through with the Tommy, with that Tommy boy was on point. They loved it. So shout out to you. Record time. Definitely going to need that recipe. Because sometimes I don't feel like standing at the grill for 2 hours unless I have a drink in my hand. That might be something different. But with the winners, we have losers. And unfortunately, Ryan and Megan were our losers this week. They were sent into the elimination round where they had to make whole fish. So they had a certain amount of time to do a fish dish. Platform was going to have different types of whole fish and was up for you to create your dish. This was kind of somewhat of an East Coast West Coast challenge. Megan being from the West Coast and does a lot with fishing, and Brandon Ryan from the East Coast does a lot with fish. So it was like, who's gonna pull through? Who's gonna who's gonna have what it takes to win the competition of the elimination round? So Ryan off rip grabs the Sebring, and I feel like he did it because I'm pretty sure he's cooked with Sebring this competition. From what I remember, Megan grabs the mackerel. Megan, again, in her zone, comfortable. She's going to bake her fish. She's doing like a late summer type recipe. Well, Ryan is going to cook the full fish. She's searing it, and he's going to finish it off in the oven. He's going to stuff it with a bunch of herbs and make a sauce. Ryan starts out the gate a little nervous because his pan wasn't hot enough. He's trying to get fired up, trying to get that confidence. And Aisha comes over. She helps him, try to give him, some areas of where he can improve on the ideas for his dish. Megan is just Megan. She's doing her Megan thing. Again, she cooks fish 3 or 4 times a week. She's never cooked mackerel, but she was highly confident. Ryan's fish did look good, but I did peep that the herbs that he was using kind of fit a different style of protein. But we're going to see if it worked. I mean, he's worked with fish before, so we're going to see if he's able to pull this off. Now, unfortunately, Megan, she's worried about overcooking her fish. Naisha is a fish aficionado, and she just doesn't want to look bad in front of Naisha. And Ryan goes to pick up his fish and rips the tail off the fish. So there goes his presentation. Off rip. But let's see what happened. Ryan's fish, again, he did a Sebring. He stuffed it with rosemary and other herbs. Off rip, they didn't like it. It had a good taste to the fish, but he used the wrong herb for the fish. Normally, rosemary is like chicken and pork, not really known to be in fish. But the fish was cooked well. But Megan fish was cooked beautifully. They loved the combination that she used. They thought she did a very good job. And judging by the way I explained each dish, I think we know who went home this week. Ryan, sad to see you go, but I do want to thank you for being on Next Level Chef. Again, another young and up-and-coming cook. You have plenty of life ahead of you. You have a family, a girlfriend, and a child that is just proud of you for taking that leap. This is just the beginning. Definitely have a lot more cook left in you. But thank you for being on the podcast. Well, thank you for being on the show, and we hope to get you on the podcast. Now, didn't we have fun here today, guys? Again, I was here by myself. Neda Ting's in Texas. Hopefully she has a good trip. I was tired. I was debating whether or not I was even going to shoot this week. But consistency is key, and there's things I want to do and places I want to see. So thank you guys for watching another episode of the Food We Watch podcast. Please make sure you like, share, comment in the chat, in the comments. Hit us up. Let us know what you think about the episode. Let us know what you want us to review next, because guess what? This season is about to be over. We're looking for something else to watch. Let us know in the comments what you want to see us watch. If you want to see or hear from more of us, make sure you go to @Neda.foodphoto on IG and Facebook. She is on TikTok. She doesn't promote it, but she be on TikTok. I think it's Neda Food Photo without the dot. Either way, look her up. You'll find her. If you want to hit me up, you will always find me at SirchCity on all platforms except for TikTok. It is Nextstop SirchCity. But if you don't, if I don't respond there, then you can always reach me. Always see us putting up new content, new food content, over at Normals Be Chefing, and that is all platforms. If you don't have time to watch all the episodes, we do post some of the review on at the Food We Watch Pod on TikTok and IG. So y'all ain't got no reason not to be followed. You got plenty of opportunity to support the podcast. But thank you again for watching the Food We Watch podcast. Before we go, I have to let you know that good things come and good things go. Life is like a box of chocolate. That should be melting.